Everyone, I guess welcome to my first ever tutorial video. In this video, I will teach you how to create a custom ground. So, like in my newest level right here, for example, right there down on the ground. So I guess the first thing that you need to do, or the first thing that I usually do, is I set down a teleportation or a teleport object, whatever you call it. And I just usually put down a few of these blocks to represent the ground. So there you go. Now usually how I usually create my levels is I usually set it to line 2, but I guess in here we'll just set the ground and line to be either invisible or black. So I guess the next thing that I usually do is, well, what I usually do is this is really difficult, but I usually just set down these to represent kind of like, a white line, or to use these to replace the other blocks right there. So I guess we can just get rid of these. And there we go. And usually what I do is, this is my first ever tutorial video, so this is kind of difficult to explain, but I usually put this all into a group, in this case group 1. And I put down a move portal, or a move trigger. I usually just set it to lock the player X, and also this is an important thing, I usually set it to go back -100 and 0, so that it also covers up the back, making kind of like giving out the effect of it being a ground more. But in this case, as you see, we have a lot of this space right here, and if we were to just go and let me just set this right here. If we were to go in to level now, as you see, we still have a lot of area right there. So what I usually do is I just select like 5, as said right there, 5, and I just move it forward. Also usually check don't fade, don't enter, and glow, because I just find it really annoying and weird in a way. But as you see now, we have a whole ground. So what I do next is I go and find something like this right here, and I just set it a little bit higher, and I put that in a group. And this is what I usually use the static cam for, so that you don't move up and down and it kind of seems like it's more of a ground. So we just set the move time to 0. We group that we set it in, and this is important. I just check Y only, because if it's X and Y, you'll just fly by. So make sure to check Y only. And now if we go in, there we go. Now you may set this as high or as low as you want. In this case, that was above, so we can see more of the ground. And now comes the more difficult part, which is the design. So before you start this, it's really important that you select the white line that we just made. I should just set it to lock, item links, so that way I can just easily see. Now you set it to either T2 or T3. I usually set mine to T2 for the transitions, which we'll do transitions in another video, but in this case, I guess we'll just set it to T3. The Z order doesn't really matter, because we're only going to set things lower than this. So now we go into a new layer, and I guess I'll teach you a basic checkerboard design like in my level lifted. So we just select one of these, and we scale it up all the way, and then we just try to line it up with the line. In this case, we'll just set it like this, and like this. There we go. Now we'll set this into, I'll set it into T1, because we'll be using T2 for a different part of this, like kind of like a final effect. And we just check don't fade, don't enter, and we turn off glow. And we'll set it into a new color. And I guess we'll set it to kind of like a light gray of some sorts. There we go. And then we'll copy paste, or vibrant paste, whichever way you want to call it. And we'll just, this is what I usually do. I go into here, the HSV button, and I turn down the brightness to at least 0.80, and there we go. So now we'll just keep on copy pasting this just over and over and over again, and we'll just do this, and there we go. Now we just delete all that, and here we go. So then we just copy this whole row and we flip it, making it stand out more like a checkerboard. And I usually do this at least 4 times. And there we go. So now if we go into the level now, as you see, we now have, I guess we forgot to put it into a move group. We'll set it into group 1, which is the same group as this. And now if we, as you see, we now have a custom group. But we need to start making it move over, to the left, making it give out more of the effect that you're going forward. So what we'll do is we need to do this. We need to copy this and move it over. That way, so when it starts moving, it won't just all of a sudden end. And now what we do next is we put this in a new group. In this case, it'll be group 3. And now we copy this and we'll set it to 3 so that it locks the player X, as it says right there. And now what I usually do is this number, I just kind of set it in like random numbers. So I guess in this case, we'll have it be negative 250. And we don't need to worry about easing. So now when we go in, oh, I guess I forgot to uncheck lock the player X. Wait. Oh, I guess it said to. Oh, I said it in group 1. Hold on 1 second. So I guess I forgot to move it out of 1. So now when we go in, as you see now, it is moving back. But we need to set this to go back negative 100 since this is in a new group. There we go. And now when you go in, as you see, we now have it moving back. So usually I could just end it there, but I want to give you more detail, like add in special few things to make it look better. So I guess what we can do is we can just copy values and we can set in a shadow, and this is why I said we'll be using the T2 for. So usually I prefer using this shadow right here, or whatever block it could be called, and we'll just do paste state and paste colors since we copied it from one of these check things. But now we need to set it to the next new layer, and we'll keep it in layer 3. So we can just delete that, and we can set in a new color. So then black, but I like setting the opacity down to at least somewhere around 0.60 will probably look good. And then we just copy it and then move it over. This will make it look at least a little bit cooler. And now we'll just, those already checked. And now when we go in, as you see, it looks good. But as you see, it kind of looks like it's doing some weird things because we gotta set it up to T2. And now we're going, there you go. So I guess that's how you make your own custom ground, or at least that's how I make my custom grounds. I guess I say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial video.